What I never know is, because I'm streaming this out of OBS, is if I'm live on the actual channel or not. And what really stinks is because I'm not on the channel itself, I can't tell if I'm even anybody in here. I can't answer any chats. I got to get that all solved. This is kind of experimental at this point. I'm pretty confident that this whole thing is going to burn up my laptop. But here's what's going on. So let's get into it. This is the Brian4Liberty podcast. It's going to be the new format. I'm going to be podcasting here. The reason being is because I prefer the informal, fun, kind of a lot of interaction of being on TikTok. That's what I enjoy doing. That's fun for me. It suits my personality. I'm good at it. It just took me like 30 minutes to get this all set up. I got to go through all this technological hoop jumping, and that's not really, this is a hobby for me. Well, it was. But now TikTok, for the second time in their infinite wisdom, has decided to take my mic. Okay, has decided to. So TikTok, in its infinite wisdom, for the second time, has decided to take away my live access. Sanity. I cannot get anything to work. So, as you can see, this is a test run. I got to get a new Blue Yeti. I took this apart to try and fix the mic. So, I'm having mic problems too. So, bottom line is, I want to have a little fun tonight if I can keep the mic going and I don't burn up my laptop trying to stream with OBS. But anyway, TikTok in their infinite wisdom took away my live access because I had the audacity to make a comment, but I actually thought it was relatively tame. I think I could say it on YouTube. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think they take videos down here. They just take away your monetization or whatever, which I don't have, so it doesn't really matter. Bottom line is, I said that it was awfully coincidental that a few years before the Epstein thing happened, that you had this Pizzagate thing going on. And if you look at how the definition of conspiracy theory came around, this was a term that was created by the CIA to discredit people who were questioning what they were doing. People would bring up topics, bring up things that the CIA was doing. So they would create this kind of this conspiracy theory idea, and then they could use that to discredit people. And I think back to Pizzagate, and I go, yeah, it's adrenochrome and all these crazy things that people were saying. And they pushed this out here, and anybody who talked about like trafficking or anything, they just pushed them into that group. Is it super hard to believe that a bunch of really powerful elite people got together, said, look, this thing is getting ready to break. We're all in this thing. There's going to be huge trouble. So why don't well, here's a conspiracy theory. We'll put this conspiracy theory together. And what we'll do is, once this thing breaks, anybody who gets too questions it too hard, gets too involved, anything like that, we will, we can discredit them by associating them with this other thing. I don't know, man. I don't think that's that far fetched. And first of all, the thing about Epstein is that's not made up. That's not conspiracy theory stuff. And I'm saying the other thing is a crazy conspiracy theory. I'm just saying we know what went on with Epstein. We know there are tons of powerful people involved. It's not like we're in a place where this is groundbreaking, like, oh my God, I can't believe he says this is all out there. And they took my live stream down. They didn't just take it down. They took it down right in midstream, which I found, let's just say, I thought that was unnecessary. I thought that was let's call it a bridge too far. I don't know. So anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm looking for an alternative where look, I'm not trying to get all I'm not trying to do all extra or any of this. Just enjoy it. This is just a hobby for me. But now I'm mad. And so now I'm going to get dialed in and start really posting. And I just feel like the idea that as a person who says they shouldn't take down the TikTok app in particular, right? It's insane that they will come in the middle of a live and just go, yeah, you can't say that here. We are shutting you down in the middle of in the middle of your live stream. And I'll tell you, it seems like, it does seem like Oh my god. Like the only way that they can, that the reason that they are, I'll tell you this. It seems like every time I get momentum going, right, where I'm actually like, oh, I'm getting a little habitual with this now. I'm actually starting to enjoy it. I'm doing it more often. I'm starting to gain some momentum here. That's when it happens. And what they do is they take away your access for 7 days. Well, after 7 days, the habit of getting on a regular basis kind of gets broken, right? And so if the habit's broken, then, and not only that, but there is a momentum app. It's a momentum algorithm. So with YouTube, it's not that big of a deal that you are not necessarily that you're not necessarily posting all the time. Whereas with with TikTok, it's important that you're posting on a regular basis. You have to be posting all the time, and you can see it as you're doing it. So if you're not familiar with the app, the more you're posting, the more you're doing, the more kind of activity you're actually getting. And so if you're not posting, then you're not gonna get. So as you build momentum, you actually start getting an audience together. You start being able to actually see some light at the end of the tunnel. It seems like if you're talking about things they don't want you to talk about, they will shut you down. They'll take away your access for a week. They'll kill your momentum, and then I think they just kind of hope you go away. And I have in the past. In the past, I've just okay, and then I'll be off the platform for a while, and then I'll come back on later and see what I think if I'm going to come back or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to hit a couple of things here on X. I'm stealing content, by the way, and I don't want to hide it, so I'm going to bring this over the transition. This is my favorite podcast. I listen to Good Morning Liberty. These are my guys. I love their content. I pay for access to this, so I do comb through here and pull up the stories as they make suggestions about what these two guys should talk about. They're much better than me. You should go listen to them, follow their content, follow their channel. They're great. Libertarian minds. They really have a great way of breaking things down and kind of making it accessible to people who aren't particularly into politics. Don't know what is going on here. Yeah, that's what it's up. Let's see here. Oh my god. Okay, we got to get this out of here. Sorry guys. I told you this is a bit of a work in progress here. There we go. So I have a dead cam. I was trying to use the webcam because Elgato, I'm using my phone, and the camera hub is crushing my CPU. So I don't even want to stay on here that long because I'm afraid it's going to burn on my laptop. But anyway, so I pull stories from here. So I'll scroll through and I'll pull stuff up. So I got a couple of funny. This is their best show. They do Dumb Bleep of the Week. They do it every Friday, and the subscribers and I'm promoting. It's like nobody cares. I don't think I have any viewers here anyway, so it doesn't matter. But they have a group called the Fed Haters Club. Go to joingml.com and you get in. You can be in here and you can suggest stories. They do a live chat during their podcast away. They're a lot of fun. I really like them. I've been listening to them for a couple of years now. I got into them when I was training for a marathon. And I would just put those guys on and listen to them for like 2 hours while I'm running. Anyway, super uninteresting. I know this is not the world's greatest podcast, but this is really just to see how the technology works. Mary Adams says, but I do want to hear. I haven't even heard this yet. So I just want to play it and see what this guy is saying.
Plan that states those jobs that we are in high demand, we could expedite. How do we have a large body of people that are in our city and country that are excellent swimmers, and at the same time we need lifeguards?
Essentially what's going on here is he's saying that because they have all these illegal immigrants and they're excellent swimmers and they have a lifeguard shortage, and so they could use the illegal aliens to fill their lifeguard shortage.
And the only obstacle is that we won't give them the right to work to become a lifeguard. Plan that states those jobs that we are in high demand, we
all right,
could
so that's the
expedite.
It's looping, but come on, I think this is particularly funny because it's right after the Kathy Hochul thing where it's like Democrats are really just losing it and they're just going to start saying the quiet part out loud consistently. They're just going to start saying the thing. This is what's on my mind. It's what was the girl on The View who if you kick all the immigrants out of the country. Do you remember this? If you kick all the immigrants out of the country, who's going to clean your toilets? That's what this. If you kick everyone out, I'm going to type it up. If you kick everyone out, oh come on, kick out the immigrants. Who's going to clean your toilet? I can't remember. It was the Osborne girl on The View said this, and it was like, hey, stop saying the quiet part out loud. Like, we all know that this is how we think, but it was, oh man, it was just crazy. It's crazy.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum. Now you can get Spectrum Internet with
I actually have premium, but I can't log in because I'm using my phone. So I can't do two-party verification on my premium to get rid through the ads. I told you, it's a bit of a mess. So
even when he's not there. Look what happened on The View today with guest co-host Kelly Osbourne.
There are a lot of Latinos here in this country that do agree that the immigration problem is a problem and it does need to be addressed and it does need to be fixed.
Interesting.
But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what
she said that right. She said that right in front of a Latino woman. It just kills me. And so what I like is the reaction of the fellow hosts on the, as they are like, oh my God, I can't believe she.
I mean, like, but I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always
but they Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
I would never mean it like so here's the thing is like, I'm going to say something incredibly racist, and then you have to give me credit because I'm on your side. You can't take that the wrong way. You have to give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm a liberal. I get to say incredibly racist things, which I mean and I believe, and then you have to give me the benefit of the doubt because I'm one of your people. Maybe that is one of the most amazing things about the whole the Kathy Hochul thing and this and now the we have excellent swimmers. These illegal immigrants are excellent swimmers. And it's like they just keep doing it, and it's just okay, and nobody's gonna call them out on it. Nobody says anything about it, and it's just fine.
I'll tell you something else.
Here's another fun one. Here's another fun one. We're just having a little fun tonight as I'm testing out the tech. So I appreciate anybody who's here, who's commenting. I'm gonna get all that sorted out so I can respond to comments and whatnot. Hopefully the sound isn't too overbearing. All of this is just to record and figure out how this all works.
Going to get you a lot of hits. I am taking a, what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin.
For those of you who don't know who this is Chris Cuomo. This is the take a shot. He was one of the most outspoken force the, vax mandate type people during the pandemic.
Ivermectin was a boogeyman early on in COVID.
You couldn't talk about it.
That was wrong. We were given bad information about ivermectin.
I don't care if they were given bad information. See, this is what ticks me off about these people. I don't care if you were given bad information about ivermectin because other people had good information. It's not that you had bad information and you were saying the wrong thing. It's that this is the problem, and this is why I'm so pissed off at TikTok for taking me down and not letting me live. You don't know everything. You might be wrong. And for you to say, this is what I believe, fine, that's what you believe. But to not let anybody else speak, you were wrong. And that administration, social media, all that suppressed any opposition, any other viewpoints other than and they were wrong. And they were wrong about a ton of stuff. And they want us to forget it. And they want to come on and do these little apolodazzle tours. It's like, hey, we were wrong. We're sorry. Mistakes were made. We had bad information. It's not that you had bad information. That's not the point. The point is you had bad information, but you also wouldn't let anybody else speak. And that's the problem. That's why freedom of speech is so important. That's why the government doesn't get to decide what misinformation, doesn't get to define what misinformation is and what the truth is. And there isn't an official message on things that people are allowed to speak, have conversations, and make decisions for themselves. Because no, the state cannot always be trusted. That's what the problem is.
The real question is why? everyone's going to say Joe Rogan was right. No, Joe Rogan was saying, yeah, he was right. But that's...
You see, like, I want you... Like, Joe Rogan was right. Yeah, but that's... The fact that he was right isn't what's important.
That's not what matters. What matters is the entire clinical community knew that ivermectin couldn't hurt you. They knew it, Patrick. I know they knew it. How do I know? Because now I'm doing nothing but talking to these clinicians who at the time were overwhelmed by COVID, and they weren't saying anything. Not that they were hiding anything, but it's cheap, it's not owned by anybody, and it's used as an antimicrobial, antiviral, and all.
This is what the voices that they silenced, and he was part of that. Don't let him get off the hook. He was part of that. And that's what people were saying then. And that's the kind of content that TikTok would take down, the kind of content that would get you demonetized on YouTube. These are the kinds of things that the regular people that they shut. Why? Clinicians, of course. You have to take the jab. There's nothing else to do. And if you say something else, you lose your medical license. You'll lose your career. That's why the clinicians weren't saying anything about it. And they're going to act like this wasn't some kind of like they didn't make this happen. It just drives me, it burns me up on the day after getting like taken down for saying things that they're like, yeah, you shouldn't be saying this, so we're just going to take you down. That's what bothers me. And that's why I'm going to be on here more. I'm like reinvigorated by it. So for those of you, again, if you've watched this thing, I appreciate it. This is an experimental run. These things are going to be an hour long. They're going to be a much of higher quality, but I just want to come to get my feet wet with this new technology. So this is what this stream was about. I've ran a couple of other small ones. I'm going to keep doing this. And I'm going to, hopefully I can get my TikTok audience, at least some of them, to come over here and make these streams interesting and